is for all of my BookTok girlies and my avid readers out there, be it fiction or not. So I love training and I love reading, but sometimes when you're reading a good book, it's hard to get off your couch or your bed or out of the bath or whatever to go work out and put the book down. And this isn't like a productivity thing for me. This is more like an addiction kind of thing. Like I really cannot put that book down to go do the training that I also want to do. So naturally I started to read while I'm training, and I'm here today to tell you, so hopefully you can also do this. And I obviously do not mean like if you're training combat sports or a martial art or a team sport or something where you have to be like dialed in and focused. This is more like cardio, weights, calisthenics, solo sort of training, unless you have friends and buddies that you can train with. Couldn't be me. So the easiest way to do this is by listening to an audiobook while you train via whatever app you use. There's a couple I use. I've tried Spotify, but I don't like having to pay extra for books. I mostly use either Libby, the library app, or Speechify. I use Speechify so much. I've actually paid for the full version, and it's like over $100 for the full version, but when I say I use it almost every day, it's no joke, I do. On Speechify, when I look at my app, I have read more than 10 million words using the app. I like Speechify because you can speed up or slow down the book you're listening to or the document. Also because I can play Spotify music in the background. So while I'm still listening to my book, I can play some sort of upbeat instrumental thing just to keep that motivation up when I'm training. Especially if you're listening to like a fantasy book or something and then you have like an upbeat sort of fantasy score in the background. Very good, would recommend. And of course the Libby app, if you haven't heard of it, is the app that the libraries use, and you can take out ebooks and audiobooks through it. With your book in your ears, you can listen to it for any sort of the training you're doing, be it cardio, weights, whatever. Audiobooks is, of course, the obvious choice for what you would do. The less obvious choice, which is a little more difficult, is with either a physical book or a Kindle, so an ebook. Now this way can be a little more cumbersome, and I would definitely say it affects the intensity at which you can train a little more. I don't currently have a gym membership to a physical gym. Like I said in a previous video, I chose to pay for my jiu-jitsu gym membership over a gym membership, but it is something I've done in the past and something I will most likely do in the future. When you're using something like your Kindle, you can do some sort of steady state cardio. You just kind of pop it up on whatever it is you're using, a treadmill, an exercise bike. Usually there's some sort of divot there, and you can just either click through it like this, or I've done it on my phone too, scroll through it on your phone, or if it's an actual book, I've gotten those clips that you put at the top that sort of holds it open. Find it a little harder to do that with like a thick book. So usually my go-to is something like this, and I'll just prop my book up and I'll do my low intensity or my steady state cardio with that book just propped up and open for like 20 to 60 minutes. You just kind of have to be careful that you don't trip and fall, because that's embarrassing. Although, you know, you do kind of get over it pretty quick when it happens. Another solid option is to read while you're stretching. I find it hard to settle into a stretch. I find I get bored very fast, even though you don't really have to hold your stretch for like 20 minutes. Obviously not. I get bored really quick and I give up on stretching. But if I have a book in my hand or a book on my phone, I can just hold one position, stretch, set a timer between my apps and go, ooh, my minute or two is up. Okay, time to switch. And it honestly does make me hold my stretches longer. And of course, you can also just like read on your break between sets on your phone. My only caveat is I find this one hard to do with fiction books because generally the rest between my sets isn't super long, or maybe not as long as they should be sometimes. So usually nonfiction works easier for me for in between sets. Honestly, in between sets, I kind of just stare into the great beyond if I'm not listening to an audiobook, just like emotionally recovering from the work I just did. And of course, my caveat for all of this reading while working out is that if you're not paying attention, the intensity of your exercises might go down. I don't find this to be an issue when I'm listening to Spotify music in the background, like I said, or when I'm mentally conscious and dialed in of the fact, oh, I'm training. Oh, this is hard work. I have to put in the effort. But also do still make sure you're paying attention to your form. Please do not hurt yourself because you're distracted. But this is one of the only ways I can get myself off the couch to do my training that I do want to do when I'm reading a good book. Which is another reason I like Speechify, because I can go from reading the document on the couch to copying and pasting however much I need to listen to while I work out, and then I can switch back to the book. But let me know what your thoughts are. Is this something you've tried before? Is it something you've considered trying? How did it work out for you? Are there other things you do at the gym? I once wrote a full paper on the treadmill and the little cycle, the bicycle. And whenever my head would go empty, I would do a little sprint and then I'd slow down while I was typing or dictating my thoughts. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, stick around if you like. If you have any book recommendations, please do let me know. That being said, happy training. Make sure you make your fitness fit you. Bye!